take like 4 or 5. Let's see if I start dropping frames. Alright. Hi, Patrick. Sorry about the resolution. I had to drop it down a lot. I was dropping frames like crazy. I'm about to stop the stream real quick, and nope, my drop frames are shooting back up through the roof, so I'm going to leave it about where it is. And, yeah, we'll see. I have no idea what's going on. How are you doing today? How's everything looking? Everything looking and sounding decent? Alright. Well. Hopefully, it's not horrible. And I'm just going to get into it today. And I'm going to start in here with my soft pen. It's a Tombow brush pen. And I use it for making bold, broad, thick lines that I use for doing walls and stuff like that. And I'm getting a little too regular with it. I need to let my pen drift a little bit more. Oh. You might recognize this map from the last one. I haven't touched it since. And the cord for my camera is right in the way of moving my papers. So give me a second. Let me move this out of the way. There we go. I'm just doing some dungeon mapping today. Just encounter maps versus exploration maps. I was doing an environmental map earlier this week, and it feels kind of dead and empty to me. Like I've got a lot more detail that needs to go into it, and unfortunately, I may have drawn everything to too small of a scale to go back and detail it the way I'd like to. So it means I may have to redo that map from the layout. Who knows? Maybe I'll pop it up here on the table for a little bit today and work on it. Having some stream issues earlier. A couple false starts. I wish I'd had a chance to get a nap. No nap for me today. And yeah, I'm finishing up the sketch that I did on the last stream. Trying to show people, I don't know, like the process that I use behind making maps and stuff. There we go. Now I've got my my borders in place. Now let's work on my level changes. And this doesn't have to be as heavy of a line as the walls, but I still want it fairly heavy weighted line. And you can get a little thinner with stuff as you go, but I don't want to get a whole lot thinner with things. Still want to keep things nice and broad and kind of dark. Every now and then I just want to push, just a little harder. Give it a couple spots that are just a little darker than the rest. And remember, outlining this first step. And there we go. Let's see if there's any more borders that I need to work on. There's a couple of them back up in here, in between some of this rubble. And there's one. That's gonna get covered over. Alright, and let's come over here and get in some of my top rubble. thicker, heavier pen. And then, you know, come down in here and just kind of get a little lighter touch with it. I shouldn't have gotten a plank in there. This is more cavern than constructed, but that's okay. Maybe somebody was shoring that up at one point. You know, mistakes are kind of a part of this. And, you know, and I've heard people say, you know, well, there's no mistakes. Heard people call them happy accidents. Well, I straight up make mistakes all the time. And sometimes they make me happy. Sometimes the errors are even better than what I had intended before, and it contributes to the whole. Sometimes they stress me out and they make me unhappy with what I've done. And oh, this is gonna be a border right here. I want this to be just a little bit of a light blocker. What I'm doing right now is I am inking. I'm going back over what I've already kind of put into place. Adding depth and occasionally the illusion of shading and shadows. I want to ink this one in dark here. I want to do the internal details of it with the firmer pen, so it'll be a little softer lines. But I want these to stand out a little bit. Come in here, I give this one kind of a nice broad touch there at the top. There we go. There are my bars. And I'm going to come back in here and do some more of this here in just a second. I want to kind of take it a little piece at a time. This is more of a medieval setting, so I'm going to get rid of the armrests for this chair. Nice broad strokes, broken little piece on the side. Maybe not. This is complicated enough that I'm going to go back and do that one again in a minute. And right now I'm just kind of looking for foreground elements, stuff that I want to be nice and broad and dark. Things like, you know, these kind of like pillars here. Which I may have decided to remove them when I finished the map last time. I don't know. They're kind of there now. So might as well go ahead and, you know, go do them. Nice, broad, dark lines. And a lot of what I do as like a style is kind of evolved from one of my players is legally blind. So I do a lot of stylistic choices to make sure that I have thick, broad borders between things. And that try to make my maps as easy to read as possible. There we go. There's some rubble right here. A couple planks sticking out of it. I'm just looking at for any foreground elements that I really want to make pop. Oh, I've got a height border here. Solid object here. Alright, and that's going to be kind of smoother and smaller. Let's get some stuff in here. Looks like this one's starting to join the old and busteds. How am I gonna add shadows on the pentagram? I'm not certain. I hadn't figured that part out yet. I am gonna switch over now, I think, to my firmer pen because it's a little easier to work with. I'm starting to get into more detailed stuff. There we go. Alright, the rest of that detail I'm going to do with my fine pen. Let's go ahead and whip that out and knock some of these out. This is 02 Sakura Micron. Just come in here and get some of these, just details just in. Use it for things like texturing, some small stuff. And let's put it aside. We'll go back to the regular one. Back to my firm brush pen. Let's come in here and do the things. There we go. I haven't done a lot of nothing. I woke up just ridiculously early, though, for me, which is horrible because, you know, I've got to stream, and then I got to go to work tonight, and yeah, so tonight's gonna be a little rougher than I want it to be. I might not stream for as long as I intended. Get a bit of a nap in, so that I'm functional at work, so I don't get hurt. That's so much better than this one. This one was horrible. Somebody's going to be taking advantage of the copy-paste tool. Alright, making some notes for myself in there, because that's some horrific looking stuff. Both of those are going to have to get reworked a little bit. I don't like doing it very much because it doesn't look... If I do a lot of it, it doesn't look right to me. That's not to say that, you know, people can't make, you know, absolutely fantastically beautiful maps entirely digitally. It's just that that's kind of not my thing. That's not what I enjoy. Well, let's start doing some of this hard detail work. And so this is going to come... I'll just, you know, do these. There's a block. There's a block. There's a block. Can't see any of those. But here's a block. Oh, gotta work with the angles that are there, Chris. Those angles that are there for a reason. There we go. And hopefully that looks exactly the way I wanted it to, like it's just a notch that's been kind of blasted out of the floor. You may hear a lot of noise in the background. I've got some noisy neighbors. I guess their kids are on holiday vacation. They were running around and making a lot of noise earlier. Doesn't bother me a whole lot because, you know, I was a kid too, and I was a very noisy kid. Thick, broad borders. Nice and Slow with the circles. I don't even know what that was. That's going to be another barrel over in here. I'm just going to try to freehand that in and see if that comes out. That came out pretty well. Just come in here and just kind of add little pieces to stuff. Try to save most of my most of the details for that for the narrower pen. Back on here and add my shells. There we go. That's looking pretty good. I think I'm gonna try to give this one a border. That usually either comes off looking amazing or absolutely like trash. And yeah, it's more of a trash today. That's okay. Alright. So since this is my upward angle, I'm going to cheat these up just a little bit. And cheat this out just a little bit. Just to give it a little different of a shape. I'm trying to do the same thing over here. Just cheat this over just a little bit and up just a hair. So it looks more like a crystal and less like a T. And so over there. Over and up just a little bit. And this one's just going to go up. Just a little bit. Not looking to get like super terribly fancy with it. Just a little bit of stuff going on in there. And just come in here and start throwing some of this rubble. I'm holding a lot of stress. Oh yeah, I've dropped 30% of my frames. Like I almost decided not to stream because my stream health is so bad right now. So like I said, I don't think I'm going to do this for very long today. Just because Twitch is not being very, I don't know, I don't think it's Twitch, it's probably my ISP. My ISP is horrible. Like, anytime it starts getting cold or wet or rainy or any of that, like my connection just goes to and you know, that's alright, you know. Maybe I just need some more me time. I'll spend a little less time developing content and more time just, you know, playing around with pins and stuff. Although, you know, with today, I would probably just be sitting there watching other Twitch videos. And I don't want to join that. I want to leave that one kind of open. Leave that one kind of open. There we go. So I don't think I'm going to finish this today. Kind of like spread out just a little bit. My stream's gonna be all over the place today, so not a lot that I can do about that. Well, I could update my my internet to a you know a more simply a better plan, but try not to expend resources too much to make these videos. And yeah. Had somebody ask me how I managed to make rocks look like rocks. And I wasn't aware that my rocks look like rocks. I kind of like fake it a little bit. And you know, these are mostly just like circles and triangles and stuff. Yeah, my my stream is just horrible. 30,000 drop frames? Wow. This is probably not even watchable. I'm sorry. Unfortunately, there's not anything I can do about it. So the next thing I'm going to do here with making this, this is a crater. This is where somebody like laid off one. You know, didn't ask how big the room was. I said I cast fireball. This is a crater left over from that. Remember, so this is the size of one side, and that's the size of another. So remember, just like stairs, they get narrower as it goes down. So to get that illusion of it going down, I'm going to do that same kind of line, but smaller, with a greater gap. And now that kind of looks like it tapers in, and it'll look even more so when I color it. What is the easiest thing for you to draw in maps? Stones, rocks, and rubble. That is the absolutely easiest thing for me to draw with maps. Maybe why I do so much stone, rocks, and rubble. Oh, nice. I've done only a very small amount of animation. Um, I wouldn't even say that I'm an animator. And it's not something I was ever any particularly good at, but I did try it once or twice when I was a kid. There, I put eyes on the skull. It probably does not look very good. Let's do some of this shield here. Draw that thing that I saw in Forged in Fire all the time, which is, broken blades. But when I'm done with this, I'm probably gonna take some time and relax today, and I'm probably just gonna watch some Twitch videos. I watch a couple of different tabletop RPG groups play. It's always a nice kind of change of pace for me. And one of the things I try to do with explosions is and craters is I try to bear in mind that the biggest pieces of rubble are always going to be closest, because they don't fly as far. And there's going to be a lot more rubble that goes into this. Like most of this area is going to be covered with rubble to some degree or another. And a lot of that's going to be because, there's 3 different explosions that happened here. And explosions produce a lot of rubble. Alright. I'm going to do the ribs and stuff like that with my fine liner pen. As the force of an explosion sort of petters out, there's little pieces of rubble that kind of spread out from it. And I don't know if doing all that stuff actually has any like interesting effect or anything on what it is that I do, but it does. I like it. It does seem to make my maps feel like they have more stuff. And this feels really empty down in here, so this is going to get some rubble. And it doesn't have to be a lot. Just more than one piece. More than one size. When I rubble something up, I try to put 2 or 3 sizes worth of sticks and stones and broken bones and all the stuff in there. Because it makes it less uniform. I know jams some. I did some animation when I was a kid. Used Autodesk Animator, which is was a DOS program. I did a logo for my dad once for Winsoft, which was a software company he worked for, and they liked it. They thought it was hot stuff. There's my dagger. Little ritual knife. And there's another piece of restraints here. And I'm gonna leave out these those pliers. I don't like how they're kind of hanging off the edge. I think I got enough stuff going on this table as it is, especially once I put in wood texture. And you know, there's gonna be just a little skull back in here. Give it a little boop. Boop. Just like with explosions, whenever you have like a pile of rubble, remember stuff, you know, the lighter stuff just kind of falls off the side. And you know, I run into trouble with it because if I'm not too careful about it, then I end up with piles of rubble that are just they're too big. Because, and I want to really highlight the fact that all these candles are just boot on the floor. Because you know, that's kind of what you want to see when you see like a ritual circle. You want to see like all of these candles, and there's 3 on each one so far. So let's stick with that. Because I did a couple more over here, but I kind of like, you know, 3s. I'm gonna add a little dot to the center of them. Let's throw some schmutz. In here, throw a little plank of wood, maybe a couple planks of wood. I don't like to do things in singles. Put a little piece. Yeah, there we go. Just throw some junk and trash on it. But I hope that answered your question. I kind of went about it a roundabout way. I did Autodesk Animator does frame by frame animation. So I'd draw a frame, and then I'd do another frame on top of that, and then another one on top of that. And I got real good at using copy paste. Like, I can't imagine like actually doing things entirely by cell. And there are people that still do it that way, and I think that's just amazing. Just the artistry that involved in something like that. And I have to say that I think this is my favorite door so far, because this thing's been obliterated. Put a piece of the door frame right over there. Add some stuff in here. There we go. And I think what I want is I want to have kind of like not like a full crater, but just, you know, a little. Oh, I got a little sharp with that, a little bit, a little too dark with that. That's okay. You know. Oh my god. I've lost half of my frames. 52%. I can't even I can't even imagine that what I'm doing is actually watchable. So I'm gonna do this for the benefit of me, and I'm gonna talk and try to keep up with you in the chat because I'm real sorry, but there's nothing I can do about it. There really isn't anything I can do. I'm sorry, y'all. I hope you still managed to enjoy the stream. Who knows? Maybe Twitch will save a decent copy of this video, and otherwise, you know, might be just lost to the annals of time. That's okay. You know, and I know I say that a lot. Then I say, oh, you know, it'll be okay. It's because it usually is. As bad as things get, and as bad as they have gotten, you know, there's, you know, just like when you're coloring something, and you know, you have lightness and you have darkness, and the areas of dark kind of like highlight and make the areas of light just kind of you know more meaningful and stuff like that. And I don't mean to, you know, wax all philosophical on y'all, but you know, it's kind of the case of it, you know. All right, and let's do that. That edge is gonna be the break there. Put a break right there. And just come in here and just kind of jagged this up just a little bit. There we go, and just kind of, there we go. Let's kind of create some jaggedness right in here. And if you can see, I made some like little texture marks on where I thought some lines should go. And I'm gonna do sort of the radius out, and yeah, they're gonna get a little bigger, a little more faded as they come out around. Just some big and faded lines, you know. Just doesn't have to be a lot of them, just a couple little wavy lines indicate that something radiated out from this vicinity. This one was a big one. And these are going to kind of join. That guy got caught in the blast. Oh my god. No, it's not much. You see a little here, little. You see a little of me, or are you seeing like nothing? A little as in, you know, the stream's doing alright, or a little as, you know, you only see me a little bit? Oh, that was broader and harder than I anticipated. I might be getting frustrated. Well, now the little green light thing says it's green, so I don't know what's going on. It says I've got more than half of my frames have dropped. So I imagine that this is what I've got out there is, pretty unwatchable at the moment, but I appreciate the patience, Patrick. Thank you. It's getting it's much better now. It's probably my internet. I really don't want to have to yell at anybody. Every now and then I gotta call my internet provider and tell them they're not doing a very good job, and I try to be nice to those guys and gals and, those people. Because I've worked in customer service before, and in that kind of industry, you never have a good day. Some corner junk. And this is gonna get just this little angle up right there, and then boom, just a little angle up, and then boom. So I'm gonna give just a little angle over and then down, and hopefully that makes it look a little bit more crystal-like. Alright, and remember we got rubble, we've got spread out from it a little bit. And when you think of things like, design decisions and stuff like that, one of the things you need to ask yourself is, was this rubble there before the explosion? Because if that rubble was there before the explosion, then there's going to be a lot of stuff piled up on the side of it. How do I draw truss in advance? You mean trees? I'm not certain what you mean there, buddy. And I do appreciate that you speak English a heck of a lot better than I speak Polish, because I don't know any Polish. That's one of the things that and I know kind of like the fashionable thing in the United States is to be, very much down on the U.S. That's one of the things I don't quite get about people in the U.S. is making fun of people who don't speak English very well. Do they not realize that that's somebody who speaks a second language? I don't speak a second language. I mean, I've tried, I don't even know how many times. To learn another language. And I can just about understand what somebody's trying to say, what somebody's trying to communicate, not necessarily what they're trying to say in Spanish, but primarily when I can see them and I can watch them for for body language cues and things like that. Trees. How do I draw trees? Are you talking about trees on the ground or trees that are standing up? Because I do both of those things just a little differently. fill this up too much. Tree standing up is pretty easy. I got a scratch sheet of paper around here somewhere, don't I? Yeah, I do. Alright, here we go. Tree standing up is very easy. So, the way I do trees is different. I don't do the canopy. So a lot of times you see a tree in a map and you see, like, let me just grab my pen. And, you know, let's use this one. Do some practice with soft. So oh, this one's getting real soft. And, you know, they draw the canopy in. Alright? When I do trees, I don't need to know where this is. What I need to know is where this trunk is, the solid piece here in the center that my players can hide behind and take cover behind. Because this is what's important. So, for me, this is what's important. So, that's the first thing I draw, is I figure out, okay, well, this is about the size of a person. And then I'm just gonna do a little, like, star pattern out like that. And because the trunk is the part that breaks line of sight, I use my soft pen. Come just a little inside. Sometimes I'll add a little doot doot. Ooh, this one's starting to join the old and busteds. And because I want it to have some differentiation between the ground, I go back to my my firm pen. I want to go pretty much point down, and all I'm going to do is just kind of let it get kind of raggedy and make sure I'm joining all these like little things. And sometimes I'll add a stone in there somewhere, and I'll make a couple changes to the shape. And you know, I didn't like that transition there. And then we just come in and there. And I'd always try to texture the trees because I find that this looks very plain, and I've tried a lot of different ways of texturing trees. So I take my my texture brush, and my texture pen, and I'm gonna take one down on each major one. And you don't have to go all the way down, just, you know, down a little bit. And sometimes they fork. And then I just do 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 do. Right. And then because it's elevated, you know, I'll add some shading here and there. It gives some indications of you know, piled up twigs and stuff underneath. And the last thing I draw for each tree is I draw branches. Which branches are one of my favorite things to draw. Just go boop. And just push down firm with the pen. Change directions, lift it up a little bit. Change directions, and just lift up as you change these directions, and you end up with these really wonderful, like, knobbly, like, structures coming off this branch. And you can make all kinds of shapes that way. And I don't know if that was centered up or not, but I think it was. Hopefully. If it wasn't, just ask the question again. I'll do it again. I have no problems with it. I kind of like doing trees. I do a lot of them. And that's generally how I do trees.